Shalom, damn it. Oh, I'm so happy, I'm so excited, and I'm dwelling as I usually am when I am on the radio with you, my friends, and my enemies, but especially my friends, because I get to be here and share the joys of Jewishness and Yiddishkeit with all of you. Now, I could sit here at the microphone and talk by myself, to myself, for hours. In fact, I have done this, and this is why I am in therapy. But it's even better when I am talking to someone who is talented and beautiful and wonderful and also filled with the joys of Yiddishkeit. And I have such a person with me on the telephone. Her name is Eleanor Reissa, and she is a cabaret singer and a performer and an actress and a director and a choreographer and a bricklayer. Amazing stuff. Eleanor, shalom and welcome. Welcome to the neighborhood.
Shalom, shalom, Rabbi. Glad to talk to you.
Glad to talk to you, too. So, Eleanor, how did you wind your way into the ways of Yiddishkeit and performance and theater and art?
It's a long story. It started back. Now, I've been involved in theater for a long time, Rabbi.
Yes.
My parents actually were Holocaust survivors, so Yiddish was my first language. I'm working on English. I hope it's coming along okay.
Wait, there's a strange assumption there, if I may. Why is it so natural that you would be a Yiddish speaker, or they would be? Wouldn't they be German, or wouldn't they be Hebrew?
No, Rabbi. Many, I don't know most or anything, but many, they were Polish Jews, my family, and they spoke Yiddish. They weren't German Jews. They were Polish Jews.
Okay.
So Yiddish was spoken at home, and it was a gorgeous language. It's my first language. And from there, I threw myself into the Yiddish theater. When I could, I did Yiddish. It was near and dear to me.
Because in school you did Our Town and you did other quote unquote not Jewish plays but normal plays.
Normal plays of all nationalities, yes. And I do that still, and most of my career has been that.
I know this in your resume and your biography. You actually at one point had a role in the play The Horrors of Dr. Moreau.
That was my first play.
Tell the people what you played.
I played the very, very unkosher role of the pig woman. Ashanda and Abisha.
Oh, did you have to dress up as a little piggy?
I did. I was a little porker, and it was a lot of fun. It was a great play, actually. Fellow Joel Stone wrote it, but it was the first play I ever did outside of school in the world of off-Broadway. It was based on H.G. Wells, The Island of Dr. Moreau.
You see, you should have done The Island of Dr. Moreau a bit, and you would have gotten into the Yiddishkeit much, much quicker.
It worked out. Thank the Lord I had a little bit of time before I did that. So
how did you morph from going from off-Broadway into doing more mainstream productions?
Just luck, just good fortune, and, working, scratching my way up, or over, or down.
That's what I do in the shower, but we don't need to talk about that.
Yeah, but we do that in show business, too. One thing led to another, one recommendation to another. I didn't sing originally when I first got into the business. I didn't really know that I could sing. And because my mother was very critical and always said that I kvitchet, which is the word for squawking. And
is that related to kvetch?
It's kind of related to kvetch, but it's more melodic.
Oh, kvetch! Like that.
Kind of. And so anyway, so I started singing and started doing musicals, started doing comedies, straight plays. One thing just led to the next. I mean, it was kind of great. And
you worked in the Catskills, didn't you?
I was a waitress.
Oh, my goodness. When was this? Roughly when?
A long time ago.
Well, you're not that. Come on. Was it the 70s or the 80s?
It's so hard to remember, Rabbi. The numbers. I'm so bad. I mean, I started out as a math major at Brooklyn College, but I'm so bad with numbers.
Oh, sure. No, it's okay. I know some women, they're so old, they babysat Red Buttons.
Oh, my goodness.
Old. Oh, my God. They sat behind Henny Youngman in Hebrew school. They're old. No, but I'm kidding.
That's all right.
I'm joking. But was it still the the heyday of the Catskills?
It was kind of a heyday, and it was a different from when Jerry Lewis was there and all that. It was, but it was very young and happening, and there was a lot of fun. It was kind of the last gasp of the Catskills is when I was there. I worked at the Homoac Hotel and at the Evans Hotel.
Homoac, yes.
You know, it was a good time. It was hard work. It put me through college, frankly. I went every weekend of the year. I drove up, waited tables, made a couple of $100, and
nice.
Went back to Brooklyn College for $53 a semester, and it was worth every penny, Rabbi.
Those were the days, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Did you meet, like so many did there, did you meet your husband now in the Catskills times? Or?
No. I met my husband a blind date much later.
Oh, well. So
yeah.
Nice Jewish boy?
I'm afraid so.
Oh. Well,
I like him anyway.
Oh, did you go for the bad boys when you were in your
I
teens?
was, I was open.
Well, I don't know how to interpret that, but I'd certainly like to. No, open to boys and girls, or just boys, or what?
No, just, it's an interesting world.
Did you date out of the faith?
Everybody had faith. I had faith that the guys would be okay. That was my primary faith. Was
you have a secondary degree in vagueness.
Date what?
I'm saying you earned a secondary degree in vagueness with your answers there.
In Las Vegas.
Oh,
Las Vegas.
Yeah, you're punning there you're punning with Eleanor Reissa, the actress, the director, the choreographer. Let us now move to 1989, a perfectly nice year.
What happened in 1989, Rabbi?
Isn't that the year that you had? Oh, no, it was actually...
It could be. I mean, it could be 89. I just...
No, that was when you really first started going into also behind-the-scenes stuff with the directing choreography.
Yes.
But it wasn't... I was, I think...
thinking about 1990 or 91, I myself...
When was Those Were the Days?
The goofy thing is Those Were the Days, I think, started in either in 89 or 90, and it was just supposed to be a 3-week run in Philadelphia. And it wound up, earning me a Tony nomination.
Can you describe what Those Were the Days was?
It was a Yiddish-English road down, it was like the best of. It was like the best of every joke and every tune, and it was 5 performers. And the 5 performers were the best of. I mean, there was, in my opinion, Bruce Adler, Nina Byrne, Bob Abelson, Laurie Wilmer, and myself. And the 5 of us were able to evoke a world not yet gone by, but yet full of terrific memories. And it wasn't done in a kind of it wasn't done in a schmaltzy, boring way. It was done alive and exciting. It was but it was the year of the first Iraq War when we went to Broadway, so it was a rough business. They were sending scuds to Israel at that time, and it was that's why there weren't a lot of Jews going out to the theater, but it did pretty well. It could have done better if times were better, and
you came out pretty well from it because you were Tony nominated.
Tony nominated. Bruce Adler was also Tony nominated, and I was shockingly nominated as well.
Shockingly? That was because of your talent. It was a fun show.
But it was such a surprise. You know what I mean? It was such a surprise to be recognized in that community. It was, it was great. But it was, when the press agent that day called me, and he said, listen, I want to tell you that Bruce, the Tony announcements were announced, and Bruce Adler was nominated, and I had bet Bruce $100, which I still owe him, that he would be nominated. And I said, wow, that's, very excited for Bruce. And then he said, you're nominated too.
Whoa.
And I said, for what? Because I directed it, choreographed it, and was in it. And I thought, what was the category? And he said direction. And I just, my blood sort of stopped and went in the other direction. was kind of was really.
Mine does that every week. I take a pill.
This was without any medication.
So did it change your career? Did it open doors?
No. No, it didn't do that much. It didn't. I'm not exactly sure why it didn't, but it didn't. It's funny being a Jew. Yiddish and Jewish. Is it a good thing? Does it improve one's career? Does it marginalize you? Or so it's unclear if it does. People start putting you in a pigeonhole, and that's why I'm doing this cabaret thing at the Metropolitan Room called Eleanor Reissa Sings English.
Explain it.
Well, I've worked in the theater for so long, and in English, in Yiddish. But Yiddish is such a kind of catch-all thing, that it's so memorable that people think that I don't speak English. What are you doing? What's doing with the Jewish theater? What's doing with the Yiddish theater? I said, well, I don't really know. I'm working, I just directed How to Succeed in Business in White Plains, and I don't really know what's happening with the Yiddish theater at the moment. So people just think
that's what you do.
That's what I do.
Now, it is fair for people to assume that you have even a stronger connection to the Yiddish theater because you got involved with the Volksbühne.
Yes.
The oldest, currently still extant Yiddish theatrical organization in America.
Yeah.
So you were acting and doing stuff with them, and then you got even more deeply involved, yes?
Yeah. I became one of the artistic directors and produced there, and...
But I'm going to stay with you. Those were tough times. You had the old guard that was trying to hang on to the way things were done in the old days and to do what they wanted to do, but then they realized, this sport has no money, and we're going to crash, so we need to do something else. So was it you and Zalman Malotek?
Yeah.
So you guys came in, and was there a big power struggle or anything like that?
The woman who had run the Volksbühne for Lord knows how many years was still a vital, exciting woman. And
yes, I know. I've dated her.
And she didn't really want to hand over the reins, and I understand. I wouldn't want to either.
Right.
The reins. Being king, even of a poor country, is better than not being king. So I understand, and it was somewhat difficult, and I have regrets in a way currently about how it was handled. One person wants to move forward. A younger person wants to move forward and climb up the ladder, but somebody's sitting on the ladder and they don't want to get off the ladder. So it's a fight on the ladder. But
and then the person on top starts to pee down the ladder, and then it really gets ugly. But but you were. What I don't understand is so. You and Malotek were artistic directors, and she went off to try and found a separate organization. Which nothing. They did one play, and obviously they didn't really.
They did one play that
did well.
It got very critical. It got critically acclaimed, and they made a little film. Did you see it?
I didn't see the film.
It was really nice. It was really a nice film about with no dough. With nothing, just will, very survivorish kind of will. She and those that helped her, they really wanted it. And when I saw the film, I felt bad. I felt bad about it.
But how come you are no longer co-artistic director of the Volksbühne? She was not in the picture anymore. It was you and Zalman.
Yeah, it was me and Zalman. It was just time to. I think having two kings is really a hard thing. Most countries don't have two kings. They have one king, and two kings. is difficult or can be difficult.
Yeah. But then again, theaters now have an artistic director, a producing director, and a managing director, and an executive producer. So
that's right.
You could have taken,
But we were both sort of kind of doing the same job in a way, ish. And so I think, so I exited because it was, I had other things to do and other things I wanted to do, and I'm happy for them and a friend of the folks being on like that.
Oh, so it's amicable on that level.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. But it was just, it was just difficult, and the folks being we had really done some good work, and it was an okay time to exit.
And you also started to do more playwriting, I think.
I started playwriting, and I started kind of doing a different sort of Yiddish act, this hip, Hamish, and hot thing.
Hip, Hamish, what is it, a striptease?
It was kind of like a striptease. It went from right to left. But people went, put it on, put it on. It was like that. It was... So, but, working with different musicians and just kind of expressing my musical Jewiness in a kind of hipper way than I had been. And so it's been, interesting.
Minutemen, the superheroes of photocopying, printing and binding. Minutemen, no job too big or small. Minutemen, family run since 1975. Minutemen, 1315 Broadway in Hewlett, Long Island, next to the new Loman Shoe Store. Tell them Dave sent you for 10% off. Minutemen, hero of our photocopying dreams.
Hi, it's Eleanor Reissa of the Yiddish world and the English world and Bizarro world. And I just want to tell you, why don't you listen to Dave's Gone By, WGBB Freeport? Huh? Listen to him.
I have two more questions to ask of the lovely Eleanor Reissa here on the neighborhood. I'm Rabbi Sol Solomon, very happy to be talking to her. And then thank you so much also for your honesty and for going into all these things. I think it's wonderful. Have you ever worked with Mendy Patinkin?
I have. We were on the same bill a number of times.
How crazy is he?
I don't. To me, he was never crazy. So I.
He never smacked you around.
Not yet. But
hit you with a barbell.
No. We enjoyed each other's performances.
Oh, this is good.
Yeah. He was terrific, and I haven't seen him for a long time, but he was always kind to me.
All right. See, it's nice to get two sides of a terrible, miserable person. But, I kid. So, and also, one thing I noticed, you have so many theater credits, and now you're going to get some cabaret credits because you're going to be at the Metropolitan Room May 8th, May 15th, and May 22nd.
Yes,
so everyone can see her.
3 Thursdays in May.
So, but I don't see any television or much in the way of movie credits.
Listen, Rabbi, pray for me, man. Do something. Help my career in some fashion. I mean, I have no idea why. I mean, it's a really funny career. I did many commercials. The camera is very nice to me. I just did a small independent film that went very well.
Oh, McMazel.
Yeah, but it pays too well, and it has too much exposure.
Oh, well.
So I prefer, the low-paying, low-exposure jobs.
Lord knows I do, too. Oh, and speaking of which, also, you have a couple of CDs out. So people can pay you to buy those CDs. What are they?
I have a CD... what are my CDs?
I listed Songs in the Key of Yiddish.
Songs in the Key of Yiddish, and Eleanor Reissa Going Home, Gems of Yiddish Song. And you can get them on my website at EleanorReissa.com.
And you spell that ELEANOR Reissa.
Bless you, Rabbi.
Reissa with 2 S's there.
That's like Solomon.
Like Solomon, that's
Solomon.
Right. We put our 2 S's together, and that's what you have.
One big tuchus.
Exactly. You're ahead of me. You are so sharp, I got to tell you.
Well, are you going to come to the Metropolitan Room, Rabbi? It's not a Friday night.
No, it's not a Friday night. I will do it. It's a Thursday night. What is it, 7:30?
7:30.
Yeah. Everybody go. It's 34 West 22nd Street. It's right off 5th Avenue, so you can go shopping right before.
And, they have a website, the Metropolitan Room and all this stuff with scheduling and whatever, all the other stuff that people need to know.
Well, my Batamta, Eleanor, I thank you so much for joining
Rabbi.
us.
Anytime.
Oh, bless you and good luck. And everybody go see Eleanor Reissa in concert in cabaret. It's Eleanor Sings English, right? Is that it?
Eleanor Reissa Sings English, that's right.
God bless.
You too, Rabbi.